July 17th, 2016. Guys, I was scanning through the mainstream networks this morning on their Sunday news just to see their reaction to Donald Trump and Mr. Pence when they announced their partnership yesterday, president, vice president. And Pence has an excellent record. Trump pointed that out about he had created jobs. He was $2 billion in surplus on their budget, things like that. Sounded like a pretty sound doctrine for what this nation needs. And that was a smart move because it put it someone that has been there. You know, he's the governor in Indiana. He was a congressman before that, so he knows the inside, and that's always helpful. But what has happened, I noticed this morning, is that mainstream is panicking. They're pulling out the last stops of the cheating, low-down lies that they normally do, except now they're really piling it on. I noticed, I think it was ABC that did a new poll this morning, guys, and Hillary's back ahead when nobody in the country trusts her. It was pathetic. It was their last-ditch attempt to stay on the Hillary payroll. But the narrator, which was George Stephanopoulos, was the same guy that was accused of taking $75,000 from the Clintons to downplay the Clinton cash book when he interviewed the author. And he did. He tried to trash Trump this morning. And they had Reince Priebus, the RNC chairman, Republican chairman, on there. And I was surprised because at first Priebus was against Trump, but he's gotten on board, just like you saw all the delegates vote the other day to bind the delegates to the will of the state or the district that they're from. And so he defended Trump and Pence, and he did a very good job on it. But every time he'd say something positive, the little weasel there that was interviewing him would try to, oh, what about Hillary? Hillary does this. It was pathetic, sickening. But we know, many of you know who George is. He used to be a spokesman for the White House. But we have another snake in the grass, and that's really what I'm doing the video. I just wanted to bring that up, guys. They're lying about the polls, and do not believe that, and do not sit at home when it comes time to vote. Your vote does count. We proved it in the last video. But there's a major, major problem right now that needs to be addressed, and we need to talk about it. You guys in Wisconsin, the ball is in your court. The reason I say that is Paul Ryan is, yesterday he realized that he was now plummeting in the polls. He's got a very strong person that's against the immigration, against all the crookedness in Washington, that's running against him. And he's kind of riding on the coattails of this "we're sick of Washington" movement. We can call it that. We're sick of the lies and the cheating, scandals that are going on there. The whole nation is tired of it. But mainstream, again, they're being paid off to try to pump up that 20% that's watching soap operas so that on that day, when it's time to vote, they will jump on what appears to be the winning bandwagon because of the mainstream lies. But this guy, Paul Ryan, is a Democrat. He calls himself a Republican. And what was the most amazing thing to me in politics in the last year was, if you remember, and I don't know how many people keep up with this, but John Boehner resigned as the Speaker of the House, the Republicans, majority. As soon as he did, Paul Ryan stepped in. But the year before that, Paul Ryan was almost kicked out because he was caught in major lies. And that surprised me. Well, Paul Ryan was kind of pushed into this position right before we voted on the omnibus spending bill, immigration, Trans-Pacific Partnership, all selling out the nation, on the borders, everything. As soon as he got in, he snuck Obama's bill through. Don't tell me he's a Republican. He was a Democrat. He's a traitor to this country. Guys, but what he did yesterday was the low blow, and this is what's going to defeat him, his continued lies. Another thing, he's got a mansion way above his pay scale that he's built a giant wall around it, except he's not for the wall. He wasn't until yesterday when the new polls come out. Well, they came out earlier in the week, but yesterday he did a mailer in Wisconsin, in his district. You guys know where this is at. That claim now that he's for all of the things Donald Trump's for. He's against Obama now. And so that tells you how low down and sorry this guy is. He will lie. He lied to get in as Speaker of the House. He was caught in a lie the year before that, and he just handed over all the Republican, all of their questions, all their concerns about immigration, budget, all of this. He just backed off and let the Democrats have their way. He was a Trojan horse. And now he's Speaker of the House. But he can be stopped. He can be stopped in Wisconsin because he's behind in votes. Now, that vote, I think, is around August 9th. That's the primary. You guys in that district, you get this guy out. In other words, just this district in Wisconsin, guys, can make a difference on the world stage. Because we're a powerful country. The Republican Party is going to be in charge. And right now we're seeing this shift. We're starting to see people like Mr. Pence and Jeff Sessions out of Alabama that are stepping up and telling these guys where to get off. It's time. I'm glad to see that. And I was surprised that yesterday, Rumsfeld, remember him from the Bush administration, came on backing Trump. And he was right in the middle of all this, so something is really, there's a paradigm shift going on somewhere. And just a reminder for the people that are being paid by Hillary Clinton, that if you come on this channel and you say your vote doesn't count, I know everyone's heard this, your comment's not going to be there. You're wasting your time because negative will not make it now. That's not going to make it. That's all we've had for years and years coming out of Washington is dark negativity. That's over with. If you want to talk about don't vote, then get you a video up. You're not going to do it on this channel. I know you're being paid. A lot of this is just automatic bots. Guys, sometimes now in the videos, if you put Hillary in the title, they get flagged. You have to take that out of the title. That's how mainstream is working now, in order to get the video unflagged. It's amazing. It is amazing, but that's the attack we're seeing because they're panicking. But Paul Ryan, I just want to show you what he sent out yesterday, guys, and this is how much of a liar this man is. I can't say it any other way. Let's check this out. Now, again, the polls are showing him behind. This is one side of the flyer that he's sending out in this district. Keeping America safe is a big job, and it's the most important one there is. But he's not for border control. He's not for keeping jobs here. And listen what he says, strengthen our military. Look at the shape of our veterans' hospitals. The next one, protect our homeland. That means securing the border, confronting Islamic terrorism, and tackling new threats by stopping them from reaching our shores. Guys, this guy will lie to his mother. Defend our freedom. No more leading from behind. America needs to regain our position as a leader by protecting freedom at home and inspiring it around the world. Vote August 9th. Vote August 9th. I'm going to be very disappointed now that he's behind in the polls. You got him down on the ground, and you never let the opponent up until it's over. That's how you get hurt. Let's look at the other side. Putting America's national security first. He was so outspoken against Donald Trump, still is. All of the things, but because he's behind, he's got to jump on the coattails. And guys, you think he means any of this? Do you think he means it? You would have to be as naive as the Hillary voters to believe it. Strengthen the military, secure the borders, protect our families, restore a prosperous America. He signed a trade agreement that's sending all the jobs overseas. Protect our families. He won't do anything about the border. Strengthen the military. How? By discouraging young people to even join because they don't take care of the veterans? Paul Ryan, you need to be called out. I'm calling you out, but it's not up to me. But Wisconsin, you can change the impact on the entire planet by getting up and getting this man out of office. Now, this article is about a week old, but it's saying good news from Wisconsin. With 1 month left before Republican primary voters go to the polls in Wisconsin, August 9th, Congressional District 1, challenger Paul Nehlen is gaining significant ground. He is well positioned and within striking distance. Guys, those are closing each day as people become aware of what Paul Ryan has done. And I'm not trying to attack an individual as far as themselves, but when they step up and they try to ruin this country, they're putting a bullseye on themselves. And they know that when they get in the game. But this guy needs to be called out. He needs to go back home. He's already built him a big wall around his mansion and stay there. Because Paul Nehlen needs to get in here, guys. You get in and get behind this guy. Check out his platform. I'm sure you're getting bombarded by Clinton paid ads. And that's kind of crazy because it's Paul Ryan. Guys, he betrayed the Republicans. I watched it. I thought then there was no hope for America. But who knows what the change will bring, but it's got to be changed. We can't continue the way it is. It just is not going to work. It's a heads up. Be safe.